Good morning. Good morning, you lot. I'm back. You were all worried about me yesterday. Yesterday, my goodness me, was the first day that I had cancelled because I wasn't well. Yesterday, I was really, really poorly when I woke up in the morning. So I am so sorry for cancelling on you. It is the first time that I've done that in over 100 shows. And I was not feeling my very best. Good morning, Donna Powell. First off the post this morning. Welcome to the show at Wise Up Rise Up Show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. Hope you are well. Joanne Smith, happy tipping it down to Joanne is shitting it down. We have got the Weatherbees ready to go. Preston, it is chucking it down. It's not even a bit shit. It is just the heavens are open, and that is what's going on. Tipping it down Tuesday. It's the same, I think, wherever we are. Our fabulous guest, Lauren Prentice, today is she's dialing in from Surrey. She said it was chucking it down, so we've got some damp below the Watford Gap there. What is the weather doing where you are? I hope you are all well. Tuesday, one of the busiest days in the IATQB working week. I have got some news for you guys this morning. For those of you that have been following my journey for some time, know that where we are living is not necessarily ideal. Look, so my ink is now, so I've taken the second skin off, so it takes a lot quicker. I've jumped from one thing to the next. I'll give you my news in a second. So with these tattoos, they take, well, these tattoos, any tattoos, they normally take a couple of weeks to heal. There's a new type of dressing called second skin, and you put it on and then you change it after 24 hours, and then you put another set on for another few days, and you take it off, but then there is no scabbing. So this all here now is pretty much healed. Isn't that amazing? So it's less than a week for it to all heal and be fabulous. So it's still a bit tender. I've still got to treat it, put some like stuff on it, but it's not scabby. It's still a bit like of adhesive still stuck on places, but still, there we go. There's my tattoo all done, ready for my photo shoot with my fabulous dress that I'm having made. That's on the 22nd of September. I'm going for a dress fitting on Friday for the book cover photo shoot. We are well over halfway there with the book. It has taken a little bit longer than I anticipated, although, you know, trying to write 50,000 words in a week is a bit of a tall stretch when you've got everything else on as well. So we're just over halfway there, and there is a clear plan to get the rest of it done. So I am made up with the progress. So again, as I was saying, those of you that know my story know that where we are living right now is the place that we moved into when I became homeless about 10, 11 years ago. Yesterday, so we maybe 3-4 months ago, the windows got put through on my car again. Where we're living, the area that we're living in is definitely not ideal. And so we kind of made that decision in that moment to start exploring, given how strong the business is, given everything else that's happening in our lives, that we can actually go and have a look at moving. And we've taken some advice and we've done all the maths, and it works out that by October we'll be in a position to buy a house. So we started looking, and we found our dream house. It was amazing. It's beautiful. We went in, I was like, oh my God, we found this is the house. I can't look at any other houses now. That's it. I'm in love. Kicked myself for having looked so soon. And then yesterday, the people selling the house got in touch to say that we could reserve the house until we were able to proceed in October, which means, yes, Joanne has got an island. We went yesterday, we went and reserved our dream house, ready to proceed in October, which is just the best news. I'm telling you guys first. You guys are the first to know. Obviously, I've told my mum and my sister. Wallace knows. Obviously, he had to go and put his signatures down. But yeah, Operation Moving House with the Island is well underway, and I couldn't be happier. So yesterday was a bit of a roller coaster. I was pretty unwell. And then through to the other side of that, we got that amazing phone call. And no word of a lie, I spent the entire morning an absolute gibbering wreck. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my God, is this the right thing to do? And just have to, if any of you have gone on to achieve something that they thought previously that was completely out of their reach, at the point of it happening, I was expecting my first emotion to be excitement, and my first emotion to be, you know, I'm jumping for joy. My first emotion was fear. Like, I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Can I do it? Can I even do it? So there was a lot of kind of mixed emotions yesterday. So yeah, it is super exciting. The house is going to be ready at the beginning of February. So we can't move until then. But I wanted to tell you guys, because you guys, I know, were following my journey. It has been quite a journey. So to be able to go down yesterday and begin that process instead of it just being like an idea or a dream was really amazing. So I thought I'd share that with you this morning. Yeah, I cried. Did I cry yesterday? I cried because I was emotional. I cried because I was ill. I cried because I was hormonal. I cried because I reserved a house. Like, I would not have been helpful to any of you guys yesterday. Today, I am in a much better humor. Today, I am feeling much stronger. And today, I have an incredible guest on the show. So, this I came across. It is a new build. Yeah, I came across this lady in a mutual community that we're in, which is the Incredible Lisa Johnson's GSD Society. And I've watched the things that she's been getting up to for the past sort of 12 months. And it has been phenomenal to really chart her journey and to see the things that she's created. And I'm going to be sharing with you, or we are together going to be sharing with you, one of the things that she's created today that's probably going to be helpful to every single person that is watching this, the show. So without further ado, I'm going to be bringing onto the show. So please, in lieu of the applause button, click the like, click the love button, and share. We've got the fabulous Lauren Prentice on the show this morning. Good morning, Lauren.
Morning.
Thank you for getting up early. I know it is not the most ideal time, especially when it's really rainy outside as well. It's like, oh, do you know what? The last thing that you want to do on a rainy morning is get out of bed and turn on the jazz hands.
This is true, but no, it'll be good to be up early. I'm thinking of all the things I can get done by lunchtime.
This is it. And then you could, do you know what's even better? When you get up early, you can have a nap later on as well. In accomplishment. So like in Spain, you get up really early, get all of the stuff done, and you think, what do I do now? I'll have a nap. And that they are the most glorious naps in the world. But thank you, Lauren, for joining us this morning. I really appreciate you getting up early and coming on and joining us to share with us some of the things that you are getting up to, because there are a couple of strings to your bow, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more, like leave the excited, like the super duper super exciting one. I'm doing this because I'm rubbing a box, you guys. I'm rubbing a box, this box here, that we're going to share with you the contents in just a second. But Laura, tell us a little bit more about what you do more broadly.
Yeah, so I have a few businesses. One of our businesses is working in schools to deliver cookery classes. So we run those in about 60 different schools each week. My other main business is we sell theatre tickets. So we sell like West End theatre tickets to shows like Les Mis or Wicked or Matilda, and we
Hamilton.
Sell them. You know, we can't get any Hamilton.
I bet you can't.
They won't let us have them. It's so annoying. Everyone wants them. And yeah, so we buy them at a group rate and we sell them on to our members. And usually they work out about half the price of the box office.
Yeah.
Obviously, when lockdown hit, within a week, we had nothing.
Theatreland closed and remains so, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, in the moment, it does remain that way. The issue is that although they're allowed to open, they can only open at 20% capacity, which just isn't financially viable.
You can't even pay the actors and actresses for that. You can't pay the crew for that.
Yeah. Plus, it costs 10 grand just to reopen a theatre at this stage. It costs them 10 grand just to get the doors open.
Mm-hmm.
So that all happened, and I was like, oh dear God.
Yeah.
We were very much in the state of okay, well, it's fine because this is just temporary, you know, like we
Yeah.
were like, come the summer, everything will reopen, like cases will go down, we'll all be fine, we'll be back to normal.
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't happen.
But I was just as optimistic from a singing point of view and a performance and an eventing point of view, putting on like business events and the things that I do as well. We've even moved our events to try and accommodate, and I was going to go to the Nail because I was like, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah, so I moved loads of tickets to July, and I've now had to move them again, and then I moved some of those ones when it looked like July wasn't going to happen back in May. I moved to September, and now I'm back to move them again. So I'm like March onwards.
Yeah. You've got to give it some time for everyone to get their head around it, because it is such an unknown for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so out of our control as well. Like you probably feel the same with events and things. Like you want to make plans, you're ready to make plans, but you can't. Like
and the guidelines are weird, and they're so like they're skewed for one industry and then skewed for another industry, and it's all very strange. We've been on
Don't get me started on that one.
I'm with you, sis. I'm with you. We can't sing even though with singing, you've got to control your breath. You leave less breath coming out of your mouth than you do when you're just talking, or even if you're whispering. You expel more droplets of moisture whispering than you do any other projection of your voice. Oh, it just boils my piss. So with that in mind, you already had what we're going to talk about this morning. You already had this in mind, didn't you, before lockdown?
Yeah. So it was in mind, and it was kind of like, I'll do that when I have time.
Yeah.
And I had time.
He suddenly was gift wrapped a whole 6 months of time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right. So tell us about what you did with this time. Tell us about what you did with this time.
Yeah. So one of the things that the first thing I did when all of our work dried up was I went through all of my finances. So I did what loads of people did at the start of lockdown, and I looked at where money was coming in, money was coming out, etc., etc. And I kind of looked at what I was spending money on. So I was like, what I'm spending money on is things like courses, it's books, it's stationery. And I was like, there's something in this. And then I sort of started looking into subscription boxes, and I was like, I already subscribed to subscription boxes without even realizing it, like Gusto or Beauty Pie, like two that I subscribed to. I didn't even realize I was subscribing to like a subscription box model. It just hadn't even crossed my mind. And then I realized that they were everywhere, and I was like, there's something in this. So I put two and two together and came up with 24 and looked at kind of who didn't have a subscription box for them. You know, there's subscription boxes for makeup, there's subscription boxes for everything else.
There's subscription boxes for cacti.
Oh jeez.
There is somebody I was connected with. Yeah. So there's a subscription box for houseplants and a subscription box for cacti. One of my connections on my friends list did an unboxing. I mean, she found it absolutely hilarious that she got a subscription box for cacti. That she opened a little cactus and she was made up with it and talked to everybody about. I mean, it was very she did it in a very ironic, really kind of really funny way. But there are genuinely subscription boxes for everything. And like you're saying, for people that are working, for women particularly, who are investing in themselves, who are investing in their growth regularly. I'm one of those people. And I would hazard to say about 80% of the viewers of the show are in the same and similar position. And there isn't really anything for that section.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what led me to sort of start the ball rolling for the business box, because I was like, there's definitely a gap in the market here for that for a subscription box for women in business.
Right.
I think also it's just that when you work for yourself, you don't get the Christmas party, you know, you don't get the summer social or anything like that. None of that is even considered.
But you don't get the incentives as well. You know, when I used to work in corporate, when I was leading, I would run incentives for my team, or, you know, or I would have incentives run for me where I could strive to get some nice things that were like win prizes and have nice things that are a part of my work. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like a child. When you potty train a child, you give them a chocolate button, you know, like it's the same concept, just grown up. So yeah, and I was like, to get something each month that's okay, it's to do with your business, but it's also going to be a really cool box of like happy post.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a nice thing to receive. And let's not forget as well, it's tax deductible. So you're not really, you know, the tax man's
absolutely. So I received my business box through the post, and I was absolutely in love in the first instance. Well, with the fact that it says Business Queen on here, I was like, here for this. But what is in it, I was gobsmacked at, because it's kind of like opening Pandora's box of business. So I thought that if you explain to us the kind of things regularly that will go in, and then I'm going to unbox for everybody what is in this month's subscription box, because I don't bring my guests on to blow smoke up their ass. I bring my guests on to share the incredible things that they were doing. And when I heard about this and you got in touch, you was like, can I be on the show? Like, I share with you what's going on. We're launching. I'm like, absolutely, because I need this. This is something I'm going to be subscribing to. So many of you guys out there will find this so helpful. And like you said, we could all do with a little bit of happy post instead of the brown envelopes that we are destined to have, certainly over the next 6 months and beyond. So talk us through what sort of things you would expect to find in the business box.
Yeah. So each month you get first things first, you get a book. So a business book that is either business-based or self-development. So something that can be used to really, really help grow your business. And you also get 4 to 6 other bits. And within that, you've got office supplies and stationery. So you get office supplies and stationery, so like notebooks, pens, tech gadgets, those kind of things. And we also include some self-care as well, because why not?
We don't. But we don't, do we? Like, especially as entrepreneurs. Again, when I opened it, because what I didn't do is I didn't want to look too much into what you get. I wanted to experience it as I opened it. And and I'll show you guys in just a sec, the self-care bits, I was like, I absolutely understand why you would put the self-care bits and pieces in there, because we do. I go at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a little monthly reminder within that self-care bit, just to say, like, just look after yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it's like care. We're told, aren't we? Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And then we completely ignore it. Like, I know I do. And then I get to the point and I'm like, oh, I'm really knackered. And I wonder why.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you start getting really ill, like I have in the last week or so. It was suddenly just driven yourself into the ground that all of a sudden you feel like you're falling to pieces.
Yeah.
So there's a business book, there's some stationery, there's some self-care in there.
And then you also get, each month you get access to an online course or a training. Right. So that's either a training with a business coach, or it's an online course which has been delivered by a business coach. So it's always something that's going to sort of push your business forwards in a different element. So it could be our first one is a podcasting course. So kind of how to set up a podcast, things like that. So it's each month you get that course to do something that you possibly wouldn't just sign up for, but will be ultimately really, really useful for you as a business.
Yeah, and also these sorts of things, like you say, yes, they'll grow your business, but if right now particularly you might not have hundreds or thousands of pounds to invest in something. It's an incredible introduction to start you thinking about the things that you possibly want or need to grow your business. So some of you out there might be watching and going, you know, I really quite fancy doing a podcast, but I don't even know where to start. To have access to even the beginnings of that learning will help you develop that concept for you, so then you can make a decision, a good, strong, informed business decision about growing your business. I just think honestly, I think it's phenomenal. Like, there are, and it's noisy, you guys out there, but especially in the online space right now. Everything that I said happened at the beginning of COVID has happened in terms of there was a tsunami of people like clamoring to get online. So it's not, because you curate these boxes, don't you, Lauren?
Yeah. So I find bits and put them all together.
It's not just kind of like you're scrabbling around. Like, people apply and you make sure that your boxes are curated so that you definitely, you know, you dig the vibe of the person that's providing the information or the courses. You know, respect and trust their work. So you're not just getting any old shisty person trying to upsell you ridiculous things. You're getting really good quality people in it.
I was really surprised, actually, because obviously it's so new, but I'm getting like a couple of people a day who want to put their course in the box. And so I'm turning more of them away than I am taking them, because I'm like, if I wouldn't do that course, then I wouldn't think they sound like a legit person who has the skills, has the time, has the...
Or if they're even ready. There's got to be somebody that's established in their journey to be...
Exactly,
helping, you know, and that's not to say that for the newer people out there you know, it wouldn't be something to, you know, strive for. But when you get a subscription box like this, it is helpful to have people that are further along in their journey than you to assist you in your development. So having these fabulous, established, incredible people signposting the way, especially now, is massively helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, everyone's clamoring to get online, and the online space is really, really crowded at the moment. And I think at the end of the day, that gives us the luxury of choice as well.
It does. Absolutely. So we're gonna have a little dig in.
Amazing.
To the business box. It's like a birch box for the mind and the bank account. I just love it. So the first thing that I opened, and I have opened it, and then I wrapped everything back up because I wanted to share it with you all. So the first thing that everything's beautifully wrapped, and it's those little touches that make it really nice as well. It's like everything is like an individual present when you open it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's exactly how I wanted it to feel.
So this is the book that's in this month's The Experience Business by James Sinclair. And the little subtitle is Why Price-Focused Businesses Fail and What Winners Do Instead. Again, if you think about the questions that people, I know because they're asking me these questions, this is pertinent to what people are thinking about right now. Do I slash my prices because not everybody's buying right now? Do I discount because I've got to accommodate for people who, you know, all of this sort of stuff. So being given information that is pertinent from experts in this way to help get you thinking and galvanize yourself during times like this is super important. So I've had a bit of a delve into this, and it is fabulous. So The Experience Business is the book that's in there. And then going a little bit deeper, the self-care, you've got this emery board, which you're digging on. Look, I've left it, I've wrapped it up. A wipeout makeup remover, because I'll put my makeup on in the morning, I'll still be working 14 hours later, and I know no one gives you a chufty badge for working 14-hour days. I didn't want anybody to pat me on the head, but I'll be rubbing all my makeup into my face. Like, I need to make sure I'm taking that shit off. Then we got getting things done notepad. What else have we got? All you stationery lovers out there, you're gonna die when you see all this. So we got a You Go Girl set of pencils, a Girl Gang Girl Power set of little Post-its, a fabulous little pen. Joanne Smith, you'll love this pen. Look at this. It's a bit of you, that. And then we've got in here the Business Box UK, where you can find your next subscription, where to share the pictures. So I've been sharing mine on my stories, and you go into a monthly prize draw for sharing that, which is pretty epic. Where's my little corsey thing? The girls have had hold of this. My kids have found this box and they've emptied it. I'm missing. Is it there? I'm missing the course. But what was the course in this month's? Because it was amazing. What was the...
So that will be the podcasting course. So
the podcasting course for this one.
Yes. The podcasting course.
So, but my kids have been a little terror. So they've gone in and they've tried to steal my stationery, the little shit bags.
It was a postcard.
The terrible little buggers they are, and they just go and rob stuff out of me stuff. So I don't know if you've seen, I've recently ordered some crowns for my photo shoot, and I've got a little one and I've got a massive big one. Ivy, as soon as it came through the post, went and stole one of my crowns. You just can't be a mum of girls and have anything nice come in the post for you. So as soon as my subscription box comes now, I'm gonna have to whisk it out of the way to make sure that they don't get it. So the podcasting course was the one that was in this one. Which again, for me, and I know for a lot of you guys out there, have been exploring this. Like, how do you reach more people in a way that's a little bit different? So what is the plan? I mean, I know the plan is that everybody subscribes and they all get a fabulous subscription box, and that's kind of the plan. But where do you see this going? Like, what's the application process to get your stuff in there? If you want the stuff in there, how do we go and subscribe to it? Like, what? Tell us more stuff.
So basically we've launched this month for September boxes. So obviously all the boxes are different. Every month you get a different box. The only thing that will remain the same is the podcasting course is the one that's in the September box. I'm not going to tell you what else is in the September box.
No, don't.
It's always a surprise. And we've got all sorts of really cool things going into the next one. I'm really excited about that one. And yeah, so if people want to put their product or their course or anything like that in the box, they're just going to get in touch. Obviously, people can find us on Instagram. We're just at the Business Box UK, or there's an inquiry form to like submit your product on our website as well. So if you've got like a product or a course, or you like to do a training, something like that, then we've got a founding members offer at the moment. So anyone who signs up as like a founding member can get it for just £30 a month.
Right.
And basically you freeze that price in for the length of your subscription. So
yeah. So now's a good chance. Now's a good time to grab yourself something like that.
Yeah.
So
it won't be any cheaper, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about that, because for a lot of people who aren't into, I regularly invest in myself in lots of different ways. For people who may not have yet started to invest in themselves or their business growth, that might seem a bit, what would I do with that £30 a month? So £30 a month, let's break this down, is 3 good bottles of wine a month, or 5 shit bottles of wine a month. So that's a bottle of wine and a half, a bottle of wine and a quarter a week. That if you spend that on your business instead of spending it on those bottles of wine, not only are you getting the self-care bits and pieces, you're going to provide your time yourself for your reading your book and what have you. The knowledge, even within that book, I've taken away things within that book already that I would not necessarily have gone and researched, that I would not necessarily have gone out and found. And then the podcasting course is something that you would pay upwards of £30 for. So you're already getting something that, for all of that stuff, it's like a no-brainer when you work it out like that. It's not £30 for a box of stuff. It's £30 for a lot of return on that investment if you are that way inclined. And if you don't normally invest in your business, and that is something that you've been scared of doing, 30 quid's a really low risk way of doing that.
Yeah. And you can cancel at any time. So if you've had a month where you're like, we've suddenly gone into lockdown.
It's
you're not tied into anything at the end of the day. You're not like, right, you got to stay signed up for the next 4 years, for example. It's nothing like that.
Cool. So I want to ask you, because you are an entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur, or as entrepreneurs, we often get told to super niche, or to when we're talking about our businesses, to kind of look after one type of person. Actually, what you've done is you've shared with us today that you have a number of different demographics.
Yeah.
What brought you to entrepreneurship, and what was it that made you go for those different areas? So if we start with the cookery school and then the theatre, I get why this, because of the circles that we run in, it makes sense for you to create that.
Yeah.
What brought you to entrepreneurship, and what brought you to entrepreneurship in that way? Because what I really kind of want to get at is that you don't need to be scared of having multiple businesses that service different people.
Yeah,
because that's often a fear for people.
Yeah, and a lot of people kind of frown against it. They say, you can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. But nobody is a full master. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's a completely... There's always learning to be done, put it that way.
Yeah, so for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to drama school, and I'd worked really, really hard to get in. They'd have like 3,000 applicants for 20 places, and somehow I got one of them. And then within a week of being there, I was like, I don't think I want to be an actor. This isn't good. It was a 3-year course. Yeah, it was a 3-year course, and it was a method acting course.
Wow, so she was like straight in with the Stanislavski.
Straight in with the Stanislavski, straight in within the first year, living as a character for 2 weeks in the woods. Like, mental.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh God, well, I've worked really hard to get here, so I'm going to have to stick it out. So I did, and I nearly left in my 3rd year, like 6 months before the end of the course finished. And my mum was like...
Something isn't lighting you up anymore, though. Like, why would you want to do it, regardless of whether you complete... I lasted 4 months at college, like, doing performing arts, and I was like, there was only so much writing about singing that I wanted to do. I didn't want to write about singing, I wanted to sing.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'd have taken the writing at this stage.
Oh my God.
Absolutely mental. We spent a whole hour and a half laying on the floor, sucking our thumbs and feeling our bum hole. Like, what is that teaching me about acting? Like, how is this going to make me a better actor? How is this going to get me on, like, whatever TV show? It was just...
We wonder why some of Hollywood is dodgy as shit.
Yes, laying on the floor. Yeah, so I mean, it was just completely crackers. And so in my 3rd year, honestly, oh, another one took us to the forest to be an animal, and I'm like hopping around like a kangaroo. Someone else is a gorilla, someone else is a lion, and there's people just walking their dogs around you. I think
just suspend your disbelief, everyone. I'm a kangaroo.
It just and like, I think some people who work there were like, let's see how far we can push them. Let's their first years. Let's see what they'll take.
The whole 3 years is just hazing before you're allowed to become an actor.
Literally, yeah. And that's exactly what they do. They break you down and they make you feel and know that you're shit. And then they're meant to build you back up again. And I don't think they ever did that.
To get there.
Yeah, particularly not for me. So I came out of it and was like, absolutely no way. Like, I don't want to go into this industry. I had offers from agencies and things. And I was like, no. And the other thing is, it was quite a toxic environment. So there's people who will literally sell their grandma for a part. Yeah. And that's not me. Like, I just didn't want to be involved with that.
Yeah.
So I set up my first business in 2011. I graduated in July, and on the 1st of August, we ran a performing arts summer camp. And from that, I grew probably the biggest UK school-based theatre company. And that was running for 5 years. I had Sense Theatre for 5 years, and I sold it in 2016. Mm-hmm. mainly because it was just absolute nightmare to get the staff. So we were hiring actors, but of course actors are
they're looking for the parts, aren't they? They're looking for the parts all the time. And
so like the minute they would get a call for a commercial, you know, they'd be like, I can't do the class. And they'd be like, the class is at 3:00 and you're letting me know at 1:00.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do with these 20 kids that are expecting you?
Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare, and I couldn't see a way out of it. So I sold it, and it was great. And I was like, I'm gonna have it. Yeah, it was brilliant. But off the back of Sense Theatre, I had a kids' party company, which I still have now. We do a lot less than we used to now, just because it's just not my focus.
Yeah.
But then with the tickets, we obviously had all the parents would say to me, oh, we really want to take them to see Matilda, but you know, it's £75 a ticket. Like, we can't afford that. Like, we could go on holiday we'd go away for the weekend for that kind of money. So I looked into running trips for them. And they were really, really popular. And we had loads and loads of parents who brought their families, and it got the kids out, got the kids seeing shows, which was always the intention. And then from there, we started a Facebook group, and that just grew organically. And I think there's like 26,000 people in the Facebook group now. Mm-hmm. So it was a real organic, all off of the back of Sense Theatre, really.
Yeah.
And then with the cookery school, I'd had a year out of working in schools. And I was starting to look around at like what was on offer. Mm-hmm. And what wasn't. And there was kids don't cook in schools. They don't learn to cook, particularly not in primary school. They literally don't do anything. They might make some like Rice Krispie cakes.
Flapjacks.
Yeah.
Daisy's made flapjack.
Yeah. Or like a soggy scone or something. Like, that's it. Like, they don't get any kind of tuition in cooking at all. Or nutrition.
Yeah, to this day, since school, I've never made a scone since I left school. So it wasn't really a life skill in terms of creating that thing. It's very outdated. I could have probably done with learning how to make a lasagna or how to, cook a steak. Or
I mean, we made a sandwich in year 7.
Good.
And then in year 8, I think we made a fruit salad. So we weren't allowed near the ovens, basically.
Right. Okay.
So that's where Nutritional Ninjas came from, is that I was like, this is such a missed thing for the kids. And it was a real gap in the market.
Yeah.
And I knew the school model. I knew, from Sense Theatre, I had the model down. I knew what I was doing. But I also had in mind that finding the staff was going to be easier, because we can take on, grandmas who have finished like a corporate career and want something to do that's fun, and
they get something back from, and absolutely,
exactly, or mums who have got kids in a school, that kind of thing. Like, it wasn't like with the drama where we had to have somebody who was really, really specific,
skilled.
So although it's a skill, it's a different skill, and it's something that loads of people have. So it came from there, and now we run in, normal times we would run in 60 different schools a week. We've started to franchise that out and things like that. So it's a really, really good concept, just because it's so loved by the kids. Like, they love it.
I mean, I don't know any kids that don't love cooking. It's the first thing that they want to do. It's the first experiences they have with their parents often, is the baking, even if it's just the box cupcakes. It's Ivy, as soon as I go, do you want to come and help me with tea? She pulls up the chair to the counter, and that's it. She's made up. Sure, they've got to stir a pot. She don't have to do anything. But kids do. They love being part of that making process. And as a grown-up, it's probably the only thing that you do anymore where you make.
Yeah, you don't do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they did actually all like link into each other, just in kind of a roundabout, round the houses way.
Nice. So what is next for you then? Because it doesn't sound like you stay still for too long.
No.
Or do you just kind of want things to settle down first?
I'd love things to settle down. But I don't think that's going to happen in the immediate future.
Yeah.
I'm not telling for a long time, you know, from like March to say June, I was like, it's fine, like it'll be over soon, like, you know, we'll get through this. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I think now I'm like, this could go on longer than you'd hoped, Lauren.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really hoping we can get back to normal and we can get tickets going again in the, you know, and I'm not just moving tens of thousands of tickets left, right, and centre
around all the time, and then that's your job going forward.
Yeah, literally, because that's all I do all day
Yeah.
on like an admin day. That is literally all I do.
Yeah.
I'd like to just really, really tap in with the business box now, like really, really focus on that.
Yeah.
We've got another box that we launched as well during lockdown, our Nutritional Ninjas baking box. So that's got all like kids' ingredients and stuff in.
Wow.
Which is great and has been really popular. So just growing the two of those really. I really want to nail the subscription box model.
Yeah.
And then maybe look at teaching other people how to do it. Because if you look at it as an industry, in America, it's absolutely huge. Like they have a box for everything. You know, they have a box for like fly fishers.
Right.
A box for you know, like
cactuses.
Yeah, like cactuses, yeah, or like mums who like yoga and dogs, you know, or like mums
Doga.
Yeah, yoga. Yeah, exactly.
I love my Doga box.
Yeah, and I always think that whatever America does first, we follow. Like we're usually fairly
we're slow from the innovation point of view, aren't we? We're slow for the innovation.
Yeah.
We're good at implementation, but we're slow from an innovation point of view.
Yeah.
And I think because America is in that real fast-paced capitalist move, they are of that mindset of always looking for the next big thing. And then when the next big thing takes hold, it still hasn't come over here. So it's wise to have your eye on what are the trends over there so that you can catch them. Again, it's kind of like the coaching industry over here, that, you know, coaching in its form over in the US it's just part of society. You know, everybody's got a coach. Everybody's got a coach for something or other. Whereas over here, that's really only just becoming a thing now.
And I think over here it's seen as a bit of a luxury, whereas over there it's seen as like
a necessity.
Yeah.
Like you can't grow unless you've got somebody to like. It's like having a therapist, isn't it? And all of those sorts of things. It's over here having a therapist is a luxury. It's either a luxury or you're batshit. But having a therapist actually helps you progress in lots and lots of different ways. And when we're slow on the uptake, it leaves for forward thinkers like you, for people who are very nimble, it allows you to seize opportunities. I think it's just absolutely fascinating. I love watching you work. I love watching the things that you do unfold. It's phenomenal. I'm so happy that you're in my world. So Lauren, thank you so much for being on the show this morning. What I would love you to do, you're welcome. What I would love you to do is any of the links that you've got for any of the things that you want to share with us, if you pop them in the comments on this live, on this video for the Queen Bee Dani page, and then everyone who's watched along today can come and check you out. And of course, you guys that are watching, if you are interested in anything that Lauren's been talking about today, please do get in touch. She is a fabulous person to speak to, and a fabulous person for creating these incredible business boxes. It is a 10 out of 10 from me. Would recommend. Thank you for your time. Thank you for getting up this early. Lauren Prentice, I will see you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Lauren Prentice, everybody, with the business box. What a fabulous story. What a fabulous product. I just love showcasing so many of you awesome business people on here. It really does. The whole point of this showing up, wising up and rising up is sharing with you ways in which you can show up or wise up so that you can rise up. And this is a beautiful way of doing it. So coming up on the show for the rest of the week, I better tell you, hadn't I? So we have got, where are we? What week are we in? We are in the week of the 24th. So we have got the gorgeous Sam Clark joining us tomorrow, Charlotte Hopkins on Thursday, and Vicky Walters on Friday. I may need to get somebody in, or I might need to stop at a services because I will be on my way to London for my dress fitting. So maybe the show will be coming to you from a services on Friday, which will be very exciting, from my iPad in the car, now that I can do that on StreamYard. So I'll be your roving reporter on Friday. But thank you to everybody that reached out to me yesterday that was concerned. I appreciate every single one of you. I couldn't answer every one of you because there were bloody hundreds of you that got in touch. But know that I am all right. I promise. It's not my intention to cancel the show. I know you rely on it just as much as I do, but yesterday I needed it. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And I will see you. If you don't already, go make sure that you follow me on the Queen Bee Dani over on Instagram. And also, if you want to carry on the conversation, you want to get some support, you want to come and join a whole network of incredible people helping each other show up, wise up, and rise up, make sure you join the IATQB Hive. It's spelt like this. It's my free community. We'll be doing some challenges in there in the coming few weeks. We're going to be speaking more about speaking out here on the Queen Bee Dani page as we gear up for the launch, my twice yearly launch of Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker. I'm going to be sharing loads of value around speaking over the coming weeks as well. So keep your eyes and your ears peeled for that. You are also able to grab a hold of a couple of masterclasses that I have created for you. So if you have not got those already, pop masterclass in the comments and I will furnish you with a link accordingly. Right, you guys, have an incredible day. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Wrap up warm if you're going outside. If you're not, have an incredible day working. If you're not working, go and snuggle or watch Netflix, whatever it is that you're doing. I will see you bright and breezy in the morning, 8 o'clock for the Short Wise and Rise Up show. I love you. Tra.